Hey, how's it going guys? Drakilia here. Welcome back to episode 2.2 of Sorceress High Schools. If you watched the first episode about iframes, I hope you learned something and put it into practice. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. With that said, let's get going with the video. So in this video we're going to be talking about succession animation cancels. What are animation cancels? Well, basically the word says it all. It cancels animations. That's it. Before we get going with this, just as a disclaimer, I might miss a few. If you know them and want to share them with everyone, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Just a quick note, you can pretty much cancel out of any skill with Midnight Stinger or Crow Flare if you have the ultimate Crow Flare. So let's get started with Midnight Stinger. In succession, Midnight Stinger can cancel turn backslash, which you will do Midnight Stinger, Shift L, and then you're gonna press SC. Shift L, C. Midnight Stinger, there's also this one cancel that is for Shadow Eruption and also for Scattering Shadow, which is this one right here. It looks like this. It's the kick. It gives you the accuracy magic buff. So you're basically just gonna do Midnight Stinger and then Shift F for Shadow Eruption. Gonna auto do it. So let's move on to Rushing Crow. Rushing Crow has a Shadow Eruption cancel. It looks like this. You're basically just gonna press forward R&B for the Rushing Crow, and then you're gonna press F quickly for the Shadow Eruption. Rushing Crow also has a cancel for Violation and also for turn backslash. Violation one is just forward R&B for Rushing Crow, then press C. Again, forward R&B, press C. For turn backslash, same thing, Rushing Crow, but this time you're gonna press SC. It's gonna look something like this. So let's move on to Black Wave. Black Wave has a way to be cancelled so that you do the last animation at any point, the one that looks kind of like this. And that is done by holding F during the Black Wave animation at any point. So again, just Black Wave and press F. This is more of an absolute darkness type of cancel, but it follows the same principle as using Black Wave. So this one's gonna cancel into Shadow Eruption. So you're basically gonna absolute darkness, then you're gonna press L and B, and then you're gonna press F. It's gonna look like this all together. Moving on to some ultimate Shadow Eruption cancels, you're basically gonna do Crow Flare, then left mouse button. You'll have to time it kind of right, so kind of when you're still in the air, then you're gonna press L and B. So you can also do the simple Shadow Eruption and let's press L and B, Shadow Eruption, L and B. That's to get into the ultimate Shadow Eruption. There's also this kind of more complicated one. So it's absolute darkness, then you're gonna press L and B, then you're gonna press F, then you're gonna go forward, press L and B, or left mouse button. It's gonna look something like this. Moving on to Crow Flare cancels, you have your basic Crow Flare into turn backslash, which is just press E and then C. There's also this one that cancels into turn backslash, then goes into Abyssal Flame, is Crow Flare, E, then press C, press both mouse buttons. It looks something like this. You can also do Crow Flare, Big Kick into Shadow Eruption just by pressing E for Crow Flare, then right mouse button for Big Kick, and left mouse button for Shadow Eruption. Looks something like this. Let's move on to turn backslash cancels. You can basically king iframe to any direction and just press SC. You can also add Violation at the end to that just by iframing SC and then just hold C again for Violation. It looks something like this. You can also use turn backslash to cancel Abyssal Flame. Like that. Basically, you're gonna press SC and then left mouse button and right mouse button. You can also cancel turn backslash just by jump iframe to C. You can also cancel turn backslash to Engulfing Shadow. You can do it for Shadow Eruption. You can do it for Shadow Ignition. You can do it for Midnight Stinger. You can also do it for Rushing Girl. It's all very simple, you just gotta remember to iframe SC and just pretty much press the keys for the other skills at any point. Going with Shadow Eruption cancels, you can either iframe, then Shadow Eruption, Shift F, then iframe again. Looks like this. You can do Rush and Grow to Shadow Eruption. You're basically gonna forward for Rush and Grow, then you're just gonna press F. You can go into Violation after using Shadow Eruption just by holding C. You can also cancel the Shadow Eruption with Crow Flare. You can also use Dream of Doom. Let's move in for Shadow Ignition cancels. You can do Shadow Ignition into Big Kick into Shadow Eruption. It looks something like this. Let's go to Engulfing Shadow cancels. So for Engulfing Shadow cancels, I got two note downs. There's Engulfing Shadow into turn backslash, which is basically Engulfing Shadow. Then you press S plus C for the turn backslash. Gonna look something like this. The other one I have is Engulfing Shadow into Violation, which instead of pressing S plus C, you're just gonna hold C. Again, Engulfing Shadow and hold C. Moving on to Violation cancels, which also have a cancel for Dark Flame. It is basically Violation. You're gonna do W plus C, and you're gonna press S plus left mouse button, and then you're gonna press right mouse button. And it looks something like this. It has a bit of timing, so play with it, get a feel for it. You get it down, it's very simple. There's also a couple ways to cancel out Violation with iframes and Midnight Stinger. You can do it at pretty much any point in the animation state, or however you cast the Violation and you're cancel out of it. Just like that. You can either use iframe or you can use Midnight Stinger, Shift L and B. Dark Flame cancels. I only have one written down. It's for turn backslash. You'll have to time this one a bit. When you do Dark Flame, if you want to go into turn backslash, you can't let it go like bounce back. You'll have to wait till it hits the ground. So you hold it. You'll see your character like hit the ground, and then you're gonna hold C. It's gonna look like this. Remember to let go of the C or you'll go into Violation. And if you then let your character do the whole animation till it hits the ground, then it's gonna do this. It's gonna go into Violation. Moving on to Bloody Calamity. You can do this one just by iframing to either side and holding space. The only direction that you cannot do it is forward iframe or backwards iframe. It has to be either left or right. Other than that, just iframe to whichever side and press space. That's it. In succession, you'll want to hold down the spacebar so that it goes into the Dream of Doom like animation and skill, which looks like this. Throw the skill, you press left mouse button. Another cancel for Bloody Calamity, you can use Absolute Darkness, so just backwards R and B, right mouse button, and spacebar. You can also use Crow Flare and spacebar to cancel into it. Or you can also use Rushing Crow and spacebar. Moving on to Abyssal Flame, you can cancel that with turn backslash, it's turn backslash, both buttons. And if you hold down LMB RMB and press it twice when it's fully charged, you're gonna do it the skill twice. And it looks like this. So going into Dream of Doom cancels, pretty much your only one will be the Imminent Doom when it's off cooldown. That's the only way to cast it faster. You can cancel out of it with Midnight Stinger, or you can use Crow Flare if you have the ultimate Crow Flare. And for the last cancel that I have is the Bloody Dream cancel. It's basically gonna be Bloody Calamity and Dream of Doom. So you start off with Bloody Calamity, then you're gonna quickly press LMB, then you're gonna press Shift E, then you're gonna throw the Dream of Doom. Your Imminent Doom will have to be off cooldown, so keep that in mind when doing this. So it's gonna look something like this. Bloody Calamity, get into the animation, you throw it, LMB, Shift E for Dream of Doom, and LMB again to throw the Dream of Doom. So that's pretty much just gonna be it for this video in succession animation cancels. They're pretty straightforward. There's not much to talk about them. You just have to practice them on your own time and just start getting up to speed with them. They're fairly simple. Not too many of them require a lot of timing, just a lot of practice. Other than that, thanks for watching, like and subscribe. So your homework challenge for this video is gonna be to get a kill with either of the animation castles that you saw, and that's pretty much gonna be it. Keep practicing, don't give up, we got this. See you soon.